Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Well, hello.
Nice to see everyone's looking so dapper.
Hello everyone, welcome. My name is MJ Pestridge. Welcome to another Sim Market review. And today we're looking at the captain of the ship, the Constellation, the L049 from A2A Simulations. This is going to be a full in-depth review, and we're going to be doing a full-on flight. It's going to last about an hour, but I'll obviously probably cut once we get to cruise and just before we descend. And a little bit of a disclaimer first off. When you go, there's a link down below in the description box to the Sim Market where you can purchase this aircraft. When you go to it, there are two types of versions that you can purchase of this plane. The first one is a professional version, and the second one is the academic version. Now, this is the academic version we're looking at. There is no difference of the actual planes themselves between the academic and the professional. The only difference really is of the license. So if you have the academic license like me, you'll buy the academic version, and if you have the professional or the professional plus license of P3D, you will purchase the professional version. Now, this also is a review of the aircraft and its associated Captain of the Ship expansion pack. And what do I mean by that? Well, back in the day for FSX, which this plane is also purchasable for FSX, P3D versions 1 to 5, it came in kind of like two flavors. You had the aircraft itself, but then you had a Captain of the Ship version of it, which basically will come with a load of more features. In P3D version 5, this review is for both of those, the expansion pack and the aircraft, which comes bundled as one. So, what is the most beautiful piston engine airliner of all time? Well, the answer is the beautiful Connie. This beautiful plane all my life is universally and affectionately a spectacular and singular aeronautical design of beauty. From the first rude sketch of Excalibur back on the drawing boards to the last L1649 Starliner, gathering many firsts and breaking many records in its almost 5 decades long useful lifetime. It certainly is a wonder, and the Constellation consistently stands out from other sister airliners both visually and functionally, and sadly many stars embodying this constellation were ultimately eclipsed when at their brightest by the urgent and powerful force of progress saw the end of an age of the long distance piston engine airliners and the birth of the big jets transports. Now, the history of this plane is a very interesting one, and I'm not going to go through it all, but you can find in the manual they give you from A2A a beautiful breakdown and history of the entire development from the right going back to a history almost of aviation with Charles Lindbergh and the Spirit of St. Louis, right up through the design of the piston engine, the birth of the first airliner taking passengers, right up through to this plane and through all its variants. Now, what do you get when you purchase this plane? Well, you get 3 versions of the plane. You get the BOAC, which is the British Overseas something company, air transport company, which basically became, British Airways. You get a TWA livery, which is the very first passenger version of the Lockheed Constellation, which has a link to the billionaire Howard Hughes. If it weren't for Howard Hughes, this plane would not exist. And you also get a military version. I think it's called the C39 or something like that. And with all of them, you get completely unique aircrafts. All gauges will read differently, just like in the real airplane. Each airplane is also persistent. What do I mean by that? Well, each plane, if I bring up the menus, let's bring them all up. So you get these menus. So we don't need the radios. You get a map. You get a maintenance hangar. You get a fuel and payload manager. You get a captain's log. You get a control sort of system for the whole plane. And finally, you get a crew report. Now, all of these menus are basically the persistence of this plane. So however many hours you fly, however many rough landings you do, it's all logged in a career mode built into the aircraft. So you haven't got to run external programs or anything like this. The maintenance hangar will tell you how your engines are doing, and you can actually overhaul each of them by doing that. It'll tell you about pressurization, heating, air conditioning. We've got 4 excellent engines. Basically, haven't flown this plane. I mean, I have flown a plane, but not in this career mode. So the maintenance hangar is basically how you'll go and repair everything. This control system here, you can control things like the windows there. You can close them and open them. The same with the doors. You can call for a GPU that's built in, although as you can see I've got GSX set up here. And it also has the live engineer section, which we'll go through in a moment. The fuel and payload manager is exactly how you start loading things on. So for instance, I got GSX as well, so we could actually get some catering to come over and put some nice lovely food on. But the fuel and payload manager, much like the refueling system with GSX, is built into the plane. GSX uses the default P3D fueling system. A2A have built in their own fuel and payload manager, where it's actually, this is how you're going to set up the fuel. So for instance, if we wanted some fuel here, we could say, let's actually look at our flight plan. How much fuel do we need? We only need 10,000 pounds of fuel. So if I say medium, it's in gallons here, so if we turn that to pounds and say medium or light, yeah, we're going to need medium because we only get 6,209 with light. So medium. And then of course you got your center of gravity and continued weight, and you can actually fill the tanks as much as you want. So in all honesty, we don't need that much in these tanks, so we'll run some of these down to make sure it's just 10,000. We don't actually put in 84. There's the chefs there putting their foods on. So 11,000, maybe 80%. There we go, that'll do. And there we go, and it's the same with the cargo, which we will start loading in a moment. What else do you get with this ship? You also get the persistent aircraft rolls over. So next time you come back, no matter how long it is, it will have a saved state of how you did and the life history in the of the actual plane. So if you do rough landings, your engines or your aircraft might be damaged, and then you have to sort of readjust there. You also get this navigational menu here, which basically you can utilize and use to set your course. There is no like built within the Connie itself originally. No GPS, no flight management computer, no automated navigation. You have to do it yourself. So good luck on that one. So it's all done by VORs. Now, back in the day, there was a weather ship that was used on long distance flights. I haven't got it installed, but it can be used as a separate add-on installed into the aircraft. And you would use weather ships, actual boats out in the ocean, that had basically like VOR locks that you could, you know, navigate to and get you across any transatlantic flight. Today's flight that we're doing is we are here in Tahiti, I think it is, the French Polynesia, in FAA International Airport, and we're basically going to be flying over to Mapatai Airport for our flight. I don't even know if the plane can actually land at that airport, but we shall soon find out. Other things you get is an intelligent crew, responsive passengers. You have a flight engineer, so he can get on board and start setting things up, making sure the aircraft will be nice and cool for when the people get on board. You can even set your lights here, so your beacon light can go on, your nose and the passing light and the tail light can all go on. You can set it from here as well as inside the plane. Now, when your flight engineer, if we go inside and have a look, gets on board, when he gets on board, he starts setting the plane up here with all the instruments. He starts arranging what needs to be done. Now, you can do this yourself. You can not activate the engineer and sort of activate everything here yourself. You can even go and sit in the flight engineer seats and do it yourself and become a flight engineer. And this is one of the crying shames of this plane, in the fact that it doesn't have a shared cockpit, because this kind of aircraft really begs to where one of your friends could be here as the engineer. If I turn around, you could have a friend sat here as the navigator. You could then have, you know, somebody as the pilot sat in the pilot seat here. And then, of course, a friend as a co-pilot, and you all could go flying on a plane. I better turn on the heating. Actually, no, I'll leave that, because we'll turn on the smoking signs, fasten seatbelt signs, and I better turn oh, they're already on. Okay. I'm not going to turn on the heater for the windshields here. I want to show you what actually happens if you don't do that. So you get an engineer who can manage all the systems on the fly, responding to various conditions. You also have co-pilot who calls out critical information. You have a navigator who observes and posts findings, and a flight attendant, Heidi, who tirelessly works for both you and your passengers, just like in the real world counterparts. You have unexpected events as well that can come along. Engines and systems and other like heating, air conditioning, pressurization can suddenly have problems. We're most likely going to have that in our flight. And like I said before, you have a captain's career mode. So the career mode is basically this captain's log, and as you can see, it tells you the amount of flights you've done, the hour, the ground distance, the passenger miles, salary, and then you can even set it for 1950s money or for present day money. So my salary at the moment is 81 grand. I'm a captain. The airline is satisfied with the fact that I haven't done anything, so I have to do something to get noticed. So basically, we're going to do a flight. They're actually going to come and fuel us up here. So we'll just wait for that. You also get a real-time load manager, like I said, with the ability to load individual passengers. Just 50% mate, please. And a navigator's map and a historic Sperry autopilot. Now, I don't actually know how to operate that, so I won't be operating that. In fact, what I will be doing is operating it via the VOR, which can be found on the radio navigators section here. So I don't actually know how to really operate this, so I guess nav 1 is what we're going to be using, and somewhere it should be allow me to dial in a frequency somewhere, but I guess, is that it? No, band switch tuning. Anyway, we'll sort it out. Don't worry about it. So there we go. Let's call for boarding. Right, so let's have a look at the plane itself. Now, textures, you know, look great. The chrome looks okay. The plane itself is beautifully made. A2A have done a fantastic job, I think, of this plane visually. It looks absolutely amazing, very detailed, right down to the rivets. You know, the metal looks like metal. The plane is rendered exactly as it looks in real life, or as it looked in real life. I do actually believe that there is one or two of these actually still flying in real life for, you know, certain events. But this is a great looking plane. So when you first purchase this, there is a possibility that there could be a issue here with this beacon light. As you can see, it's flashing, and it will be flashing a red box when you first purchase it. There was a change in the actual simulator itself, I think 5.3, which introduced this texture where you can actually see a red square flashing instead of just the light here. That fix has yet to be filtered down as of recording of this video, so it may still be there. The fix is fairly easy. There is a file in my Discord that you just literally need to insert into your plane, and it will fix it, and it will change it to looking like this. There is a link to my Discord down below where you can actually come and grab that. So, what is the Constellation, though? The Lockheed Constellation is a propeller-driven four-engine airliner built by the Lockheed Corporation starting in 1943. The Constellation series was the first pressurized cabin civil airliner series to go into widespread use, and its pressurized cabin enabled commercial passengers to fly well above most bad weather for the very first time, thus significantly improving the general safety and ease of air travel. Several different models of the Constellation series were produced, although they all featured the distinctive triple tail and dolphin-shaped fuselage. Most were powered by four 18-cylinder engines. In total, 856 were produced between 1943 and 1958 in the Lockheed's plant in Burbank, California. Right, let's get in this plane and let's take this bird to the air. Now, there isn't much for us to set up here, and the one thing I do love is that when they're loading the cargo, if you can hear them, you can actually hear them loading the cargo. That's one of the other things that I absolutely love about this plane. Amongst many things. So we're just waiting for all the crew to get on board here, or the passengers to get on board. So we can actually get GSX to come and take that GPU away. This is just a visual. This is the one that's actually powering this aircraft. And I'll bring us back when everybody is on board. Right, so let's get the payload on here, which we're going to be a heavy plane, I think. Let's load up that.
Passengers waiting for the next flight. Please report to the gate. We are about to start boarding the aircraft.
And this actually now triggers the loading of the passengers for the plane. And if you get in your cockpit, you can actually hear them getting on and being welcomed.
Folks from corporate flying with us. I think they're monitoring our performance.
Brilliant. Right, so I've just set up the navigation waypoint here. We only, I think, have one.
474, you found an anti-direct Mike Whiskey. Would you prefer to go direct to Mike?
Okay.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin.
Rear mode off.
Release parking brakes.
That might be a little bit of a glitch, sadly.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Right, let's get these engines started, Mr. Engineer. Rev them up, boy. Let's get going.
Oil pressure is rising. Oil pressure okay. Oil pressure is rising.
Boom.
Good afternoon, everyone. From the cockpit, we're going through some final preparations, and we'll be ready to go in a few minutes. It's nice weather for flying, so relax and enjoy your flight. Our stewardesses are ready to serve you to make your flight an enjoyable one. Sit back, fasten your seatbelts, and enjoy the flight.
Set parking brakes. Set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Yeah, good engine start, mate. Right. So our heading we need to set will be...
Need more throttle there. Start to sound just a bit rough.
Oh, yeah.
474, you found an anti-direct Mike Whiskey. Would you prefer to go direct with Mike Whiskey or via an anti?
I know which way we're going. Okay, we're going to runway 4, so we get a follow me vehicle. We still haven't had permission from ATC to take off. They're kind of ignoring me.
Clearance delivery speed for 7749 with the information request.
I am on the right frequency, but 12055 and nothing, so he ain't doing anything. So I'm going to switch over to the FLIGHTSIM network frequency, which is 122. There we go. We won't have to deal with them now. Right then, let's go, shall we? So, seatbelt signs on, no smoking signs on. I don't know if I have to... what's this? Oh, it's the ADF tuning. I don't know if I have to do anything with these up here, but I'm sure he'll tell me if I do. Right, brakes off, throttles up, and we're off. And we're going. Beautiful. Look at that. Bit of brakes. Now the performance of this plane is actually surprisingly good, considering that this is an airliner. This is a bit of a heavy plane, what with the captain of the ship and everything else. So the fact, like, I'm able to get like 50 to 60 FPS in this area of the world that I'm in is pretty good. It actually kind of almost has the same performance as like a Carenado twin engine, you know? Considering there's 4 massive engines on here, and there's a captain of the ship, and it's a full crew, and that actually performs very well. Okay, so we're going to be coming on the runway, so we're going to put the landing lights on. Pass lights, they're all on. .300, check that with a compass. Yep, so that compass is correct. And we'll be turning 300, so that's the direction we'll be going when we take off, and then pretty much we're just heading in that direction and then aim towards the VOR, which is already tuned in. Oh yeah, there's a plane coming in. Oops. Mate, you're gonna have to go around, mate. Look, he's coming in. Deary dude. It's a go around, mate. Right, we ain't got any taxi lights here, have we? So as you can see, I haven't started the window heat, and it's already beginning to frost up here, or fog up here. You can see the white at the bottom. Here we go, he's going around. Right, we're going to do a turnaround at this first bit, not the second bit.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff.
Yeah, I just realized my microphone wasn't recording anything. This is the true queen of the skies. So, flaps up.
Flaps up.
Look at that. Oh, look at that cruise ship there, man. Oh, my life. Right, let's get in. Let's fly her. So she doesn't climb very fast, but she will go up to 23,000 feet. So we're going to do a turn in a minute. Speed is... need a bit more power in that. Right, we're going to do a turn in a minute. Few shipping boats around here. Here we go. Let's do our turn. This thing does not turn like a jet airliner. It takes a while to get a turn going with the banking. So it gives you the indicator, the bank indicator, so you know how much degrees to pull it, but it doesn't bank like a 737 or a 747. You got to be patient with it. So oh, thought that needle was going to move with me. 300 is where we're headed. I don't know how these needles work. Do you know what? I don't know how the navigation system works on this plane. Just a simple farm boy. Right. There's the airport. Bye-bye, airport. We're off. Now, oh, speed reducing. Pitch down. Get that speed up a bit more. I think 500 feet will do me. We're going up to 23,000, so we're at 2,000 at the moment. Got to be careful of the pitch. And we've tuned in the first navigational beacon, which I believe is this one. That's why that's set like that, because that is our first navigation. Bye-bye, Tahiti. Look at that. Look at that. Fishing trawler down there. Oh my God. Look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. Drifting a little bit, so we gotta do that. And that's the audio indicator. So if I go back over here, I'll just turn that off. So that's to indicate that the navigation has been picked up. The navigation has been picked up, so there we go. So now we can actually follow this needle here, and that will take us to our first VOR. So we do a turn. And we'll follow that track now. Get it level. Wings level. We're still rising. 4,000 feet. Coming up through the clouds. Beautiful island down there. Is that the one we took off from? I don't think it is. No, there's two. We're surrounded by islands. Look at this. Oh my life. This is just gorgeous. Absolutely.
Just a little update from the flight deck.
Just a little update from the flight deck.
Upon reaching this altitude, we'll dial a nice, smooth, quiet cruise for everyone.
So yeah, the ascent rate and the descent rate isn't actually that sort of steep. So you have to plan your top of descent very carefully if you're going to make the runway. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself, you know, doing circles around your airport for a while. Look at that. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous. It's 5,000 feet. So obviously we're going to be setting the altimeter. Oh, it's already set actually for the base altitude. So okay. Turn off the pass lights, and that's about it at the moment. Look at that. This is a true Queen of the Skies, the original Queen of the Skies, the Grand Queen of the Skies, if anything. The old Connie. Lockheed Constellation. Absolutely gorgeous. So it's going to be about an hour in the flight. So what I'm going to do is we're just basically going up to our cruise level. I'll bring you back a little bit for... Oh my god. I'm sorry. Sorry, A2A, mate. The landscape, it's just as beautiful as your plane. So yeah, once we get up to cruise, I'll bring you back for a short sort of few clips of her in flight, and then we'll come back for the descent, and yeah, we're ready for the landing. So I'll catch you in a bit. All right. Oh gosh, beautiful. I brought us back a little bit early. I'm just going to show you a feature of this plane. The passengers give you ratings. So if you turn too much, if you bank beyond the turn, you can hear screaming. There you go. Just hear him give a little scream there. Oh dear. And an AccuSIM is built into this plane, so the AccuFeel add-on that comes with that they also do, A2A, you know, you don't need to have that turned on because it's built into the plane, and probably most likely will disrupt the plane if you turn it on. But yeah, that's another feature. As well as that, the log of it'll all be logged, so when you land and you get your rating, they'll give you like an average comment for the flight to sort of say, you know, how it went. But yeah, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, I had to sort of reduce our height to 14,400 because basically we started to stall out. We're quite a heavy plane, so I think this is going to be our cruise level from now on. I've already taken off the seatbelt signs and the smoking signs, so they're lighting up back there and doing whatever they gotta do. And we're probably another 35 minutes away from our landing, our top of descent. So I'll bring us back when we're coming up to our top of descent, which is probably in about 15 minutes. Other than that, it's been a very beautiful ride today. We're going through the clouds right now, but the journey's been, wow, you know, beautiful. Just trying to level the plane is a bit tricky. Right, so we're about to start our descent soon. None of these are our islands. In fact, our island, I believe, is one off, either that one or one off to the horizon. But the clouds have cleared, thankfully, and now we can do an actual visual flight to the airport. Now, I want to actually talk about something about this airplane. The Connie from A2A. Now, A2A are famous back in the days of FSX of making really good planes and making like the best GA. So yeah, they're known for making like great general aviation planes, like the best, you know, in flight simulation. And in P3D, you know, their entire catalog, in fact, moved over to P3D. But as we got into P3D version 4 and 5, into 64-bit simulation, you know, not all their planes moved over. You know, the classic Stratoline cruiser, you know, never made it to P3D version 4 or 5. And the Connie is the only sort of four-engined, other than the B-17, but like commercial airliner that really made it into P3D version 5. And in all honesty, like, there are hundreds of people who fly this plane in FSX, in P3D. You know, there's probably only a handful of people though that actually fly this in P3D version 5. It actually took me, like, I got given this sim market review back in November of last year, and I've had issues with it literally ever since to try and get it working. I've only literally, you know, in June, as of recording this video, got it working, and in the process it's actually disabled a couple of my other of my add-ons, like, and I don't think that should be the case. It's been very, very difficult to get this to work as it was intended by the developers, and that's not a slight on the developers. That's because of the way I have my system set up. You know, flight simulation is very dependent on the hardware and the operating system, and if you change any of that, then this plane goes, dude, I don't know what to do. You know, I was expecting a certain setup, and now hello. And that's something to be careful of. When you get this plane, if you have issues, it could be your setup. It could be something that you might not be the plane necessarily. And I think there's something very important I want to address. But other than that, look at these beautiful islands, hey? That's our island off to the very distance there. So we're going to start our descent very soon. Let's just have a look at this and enjoy the beautiful view in a bit of silence. Right, let's begin our descent now. So we're going to tell these passengers they need to sit down. Smoking signs off. And seatbelt signs on. Can't actually hear her that well. I'll turn up the audio a little bit. There you go. Look at that. Oh my life. It's so beautiful. Right. Here we go. We're going to start going down a bit. You just want to go swim in that coral down there, don't you? Look at that. Oh my life. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Wow. So the runway actually should be there. I can see it there. There's the runway. So we're landing in the other direction now. So we're literally going to fly over and come back. I think we're right on the money for our height. Speed's doing okay. It's actually creeping up. Sorry. So just retard the throttles a little bit. Right, so for the turn, we're going to have to do a turn to the left because this thing doesn't turn very fast, so kind of almost have to think about your turns ahead of time. So we're going to go 240, ready to be able to turn round. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain from the flight deck. We're going to be making a landing soon. And, you know, this is an old bird. This is the first time the captain has pretty much landed this plane. So don't be scared. Don't worry about it. I've got you. Okay. Need to be shallowing off our...
Stewardesses, prepare the cabin for landing.
Yep, 100 miles an hour. That's kind of like the landing speed, between 85 to 100, I believe. So we're actually right on that money. Look at that approach. Where else in the world do you get an approach like this? Like, oh my god. Okay. I don't even know if this thing has any pappy lights, so... 1,500 feet. We are literally now hand flying her all the way in. Right on that money. Okay, I'm gonna... Now the thing is with this, there's like a minimum amount of engine power that you have to have. So I'm gonna put my flaps out fully now, because the minimum amount of engine power, if I, you know, was to throttle this back too much, like almost like to idle, the engines would not be able to actually keep up and actually continue to burn, like rotate. So you have to keep a sort of almost like a minimum on the old throttle setting. So I think we're a little bit high, so we're just gonna dive down a little bit, knock off a bit of this speed. We should be about 1,000, which is what we are at. Beautiful. Coming in for landing. And if you are dive bombing the runway, if you're... Oh, look at those waves. You just want to jump in that sea. Right, head on the... Okay. If you do dive bomb or come in too fast or too hard, you'll hear babies crying, people screaming, you know. I mean, oh, look at this. Oh, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, this is. Right. We are ready for landing, folks. So, basically, it's... Oh, let's just have a quick look here. Look at that. Oh, jeez. Louise. Right, we need to get in. We need to get in. Come on. We need to get ahead in the game. This runway does not look long enough, so we need to be lower. Speed is on the money. Just gonna start trimming up. We're still descending down. We need to get back. We need to get to about 100 feet per minute, I reckon. Here we go.
300 feet.
Yep. And remember, the wheels are quite long, quite, you know, big. So you gotta take into account for how big those wheels are. So, okay, we're gonna start retarding back. We're actually gonna apply throttle.
100 feet.
100 feet off the ground. This is gonna be butter. This is gonna be perfect butter. 50, 40, 30.
20.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and we're down. And reverse. No reverse. Look at that. We are down, and that was it. Beautiful. And I think we're going to stop just shy of the beach. Look at that. Gotta be careful not to stall the engines here. Just gotta turn now.
Hello again, from the flight deck. We're now taxiing back to the terminal. Please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft comes to a complete stop. We have to say it was a pleasure to have you with us, and we hope to see you again real soon.
Don't know if we're actually going to get to turn without coming off onto the grass. Wow. Welcome to wherever we are. I don't know. Mapatapai or something like that we are. Okay. So this plane, yeah, it needs a bigger sort of circle to rotate on. So flaps up. Speed brake. I don't know if there is a speed brake, but put it up. And we're gonna get into the terminal here. And as he said, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, on this initiation flight for the Connie. Right, we're just gonna follow the yellow brick road here. So we're going to go to here, and then looks like where that dirt stuff is, we're going to turn in. Airport's very small. I don't even think there's a customs here. Beautiful. And call that captured. Brakes on. Right, so bring down the engine. We're going to actually call for the GPU. Open up the window here because it's bloody hot, and we're going to turn off the pit out. The strobe, landing lights can come off now. Passenger light, nose light. So keep that on. Wing light, tail light. And put the throttles down completely. Ready for the engines to be cut. And ignition off.
Shutting systems down.
And open up the doors. So main door, main cargo. There we go. And request deboarding. Well, let's open the door, mate. Yeah, let's let the people off, yeah? Let's get the doors there. We got the GPU, so that's good. No, we're not asking you to open up. We're asking you to let these people out, mate. Yeah? So, no, don't. No, I don't want you to load the cargo. I just want you to. Oh, do you know what? Just do one, mate. Oh, anyway, they keep on shutting the doors. They don't want to let people off. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget, I run a giveaway every month, last Friday of every month, where I announce the winner. You get €50 of sim market vouchers to spend on flight simulation add-ons. All you have to be in with a chance to win is a subscriber on my channel. Leave a comment on any of my sim market or P3D videos, and I will work out why this thing ain't working. I don't know. So keep the door open. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.